None of us likes being laughed at. It hurts our pride. So we are usually careful not to take risk which would cause others to laugh at us. And when it comes to our faith, we are especially more careful not to risk ridicule. But we see Jesus and two other people who dared to risk ridicule with regard to their faith. Let's consider some points for our reflection today. Firstly, the faith of Jairus and the unnamed woman that contrasts with the crowd's lack of faith. Jairus asked Jesus to lay his hands and heal his daughter. And the woman, she just wants to touch Jesus' clothing. In both the cases, physical contact with Jesus, accompanied by faith, effected a cure. The focus is, however, not on cure, but on their faith. Secondly, with a crowd surrounding Jesus, much like a crowded line at an amusement park or an airport, and Jesus asked, "Who has touched my clothes?" And the answer is impossible, except for Jesus, who is aware that the power had gone out from him. And the disciples do not even understand why such a question. Thus, the unlikely but strong faith of a woman is set aside. The likely but not strong faith of the disciples. Third, the story of Jairus becomes even more complicated with the reported death of his daughter. He came seeking a cure for his daughter, but now he must seek her life instead. And don't be afraid, just believe, Jesus tells him. Thus, the faith of Jairus is contrasted with the lack of faith of the people of his household, who are weeping and wailing loudly and ridiculing Jesus. The woman had spent all the financial resources she had, and she was ritually unclean, an outcast in society, and she had nowhere to go. Then she overcame all her fears. She was ready to risk ridicule, and she risked punishment and ridicule for touching the cloak of a rabbi. And in such a moment, she showed faith that she never thought she had. Similarly, Jairus is up against the wall. No doctor could save his little daughter. And when the news came that she had died, his faith was tested to breaking. But he trusted. He also discovered that he had a spiritual strength he never thought he had. I often ask myself, why does God not grant my prayers or the prayers of a person in utter need? God sometimes allows us to reach a boundary situation, a point of utter helplessness first, to draw out a hidden strength we did not know we had. We have to get to a realization that our resources cannot bring us further, but faith is still a resource that brings us directly to the saving hands of God. Do we lack faith to believe, or are we afraid of ridicule? Jesus went about the work his Father had given him, unconcerned about what people thought, or what they would do to him. Let us pray for a strong faith. St. John Bosco, pray for us.